Love, love is just a word for them to show. Don't let it fade away. Their souls will forever be as one until they see a wheel of golden ray. I believe all of you ever heard about the story of a swan lake. But have you ever heard about The Wild Swans written by Anderson? Well, today let me bring you closer to an era which is called Once Upon a Time in a Faraway Land there lived a king who had 12 charming children, 11 sons, and one youngest daughter named Eliza. Even though their mother had passed away a few years ago, they were a loving family. Until some time later, the king decided to marry an evil queen, a wicked witch to be exact. When the king was away, she turned the 11 princes into swans and set them far away to a distant land beyond the large forest. Afterwards, she dressed Eliza in rags and smeared an ointment onto her face that turned her so ugly that even the king himself didn't recognize his daughter. He even shouted, "This is not my daughter! Guard! Take this girl away!" With tears, Eliza went to the dark forest. Now she was all alone and longed for her missing brothers from the depth of her soul. As the evening came, she made herself a bed of moss under the trees. On the next day, she went to a calm lake. Her jaw dropped as she saw her reflection in it. But when she washed her face, she was the most beautiful princess under the sun. And you know what? During sunset, there was swooshing noise in the air. Hurrah! 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 And 11 wild swans flying towards land. Their feathers gradually fell off, and there stood 11 young princes. Eliza was pretty sure that they were her brothers, so she ran towards them, calling each by name happily as they could see one another again. That night, Eliza prayed very hard for a way to save her brothers. A kind fairy appeared in her dream, saying, "Oh dear, you should need 11 coats from stinging nettles that you could find from the graveyard. Thereafter, you have to throw one over each of the swans to break the spell." However, Eliza wasn't allowed to speak a word, or else her brothers would die. So when Eliza woke up, she set to work immediately, although her hands were burning. Because of the stinging nettles, she carried on knitting tirelessly for her brothers. On one fine day, when she was looking for fresh nettles, a young king of the land came riding along with his entourage, and there he saw Eliza, the most beautiful maiden he had ever seen. The king fell in love with the silent beauty, and worried about her safety, the king invited Eliza to the castle and took a very, very good care of her, that Eliza soon started to grow love to him. Even so, Eliza had not forgotten her brothers. Every evening, she kept working on the coats. But one night, she ran out of nettles. She secretly went out from the castle to the graveyard to gather fresh nettles. But accidentally, the guard saw her and ran towards the king to tell that Eliza was a witch. After making sure about it, the king, in deep sadness, ordered Eliza's execution, burned to death as a witch in line with the law. At dawn, Eliza was fetched by the guard. She was taken out from the castle in a cart with all the coats she had made. But Eliza didn't afraid at all. And no sooner when she arrived at the marketplace, suddenly 11 white swans flying towards her. Eliza quickly threw one coat over each of the swan, and shortly her brothers stood before her in human form. The siblings joyfully embraced each other. Finally, Eliza was able to speak and explain everything to all the people. The king felt guilty and apologized for his misunderstanding. Then he knelt down to propose Eliza. Then they were married for a 7 day celebration on a row. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, Eliza, the king, and her brothers lived happily ever after. Well, we got to prove that the bigger our sincere love is, the greater it would make us tough and strong enough to face any circumstances. After all, not a single thing in the world could beat the power of love, isn't it? Well, I'm Annisa. Thank you very much.